Alright, this is Module 4, Lesson 25, Homework Help. We're getting into division of fractions. So here we have our first one. Example, 5 divided by a half. Draw a tape diagram and a number line to solve. Fill in the blanks below that follow. Alright, so the first thing we're going to do is draw a tape diagram. So we have the number 5. So I'm going to draw a tape diagram that represents 5. This represents 5. Now, divided by halves. So let me go ahead and draw my 5s. Let's pretend they're all the same size. Okay? So here we have 5 divided by a half. I'm looking at the whole thing, so everything is included in this. Alright, and it says we're dividing it by halves. So I'm going to go ahead and divide by halves. So now I'm going to do a number line underneath it, and my number line is going to correlate to my tape diagram. So far with me? Alright, oops, pencil's running out. Let me put the 5 on top and the 0 on top, excuse me. Zero here, 5 here, so you can see the connection. Alright, and we know that this one is going to be 0 halves, and this is going to be 1 half. See, I have 1 half. Then I have 2 halves, which we all know to be 1. Then we have 3 halves, 4 halves, 5 halves, 6 halves, 7 halves, 8 halves, 9 halves, and 10 halves. So there are 10 halves in one whole. Oh, excuse me. There are 2 halves in one whole and 10 halves in 5. Okay? So here is our 5. So 5 is half of what number? We all know that. 5 is half of 10. So I want you to think about this also. The word is a lot of times is an equal sign. So 5 is half of, we know of is multiply what number. So that's how you can look at the division problem if we go backwards for our multiplication. So we know the answer to be 10. 5 is half of 10. Alright. So let's see, can any of you think of what is 4 is 1/4 of what number? Oops, I drew a 5, sorry. Think of the last problem. 4 is 1/4 of multiplication, what number? Okay, that's what it's asking you at the end. So let's go ahead and draw it out and see what we can figure out. So we're going to draw out a tape diagram. This time we're cutting it into fourths. 4. It represents 4. Alright, and we are talking about the whole thing again. And now we need to know 4 divided into fourths. So we're going to divide each section into fourths. If we look right here, we can see that there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. There are 16 fourths in 4 holes. And in 1, there are 4. Okay? So again, I'm going to draw my number line underneath. And it's going to correlate with my the tape diagram. And I'm going to put 1/4 here. This is 0/4, of course. And 2/4, 3/4, 4/4. That's where I'm getting my 4, because that's 1. Okay? And then I continue going. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16/4, which is also 4. All right. So 4 is 1/4 of 16. 1/4 of 16. 16 divided by 4. We can cross cancel. There is 4 here, and there's a 1 here. So there's our answer again. Okay, Miss Liverson is doing an art project with her class. She has 3-foot piece of ribbon. If she gives each student an 1/8, a foot, will she have enough for her 22 students? So will that work for the 22 students? So we're going to do 3 feet. And we're going to do 3 feet as our tape diagram. I'm going to be cutting them into 8, so I'm going to draw my tape diagram a lot bigger. We know, even though that this is bigger than all the other ones, this is representing the 3 feet. And I'm going to cut it into 8ths first. Oh no, I'm going to cut it into thirds, excuse me. And inside each third, I'm going to cut it into 8ths. Here's my 4ths. And then I cut those 4ths in half. Okay, so right here I see that there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, if you look carefully, this number is here. Okay? So the denominator is what goes first.
Morning.
So I have to continue. Well, I have 8 there. I'm going to continue dividing the other ones into eighths. Okay? Now, the fastest way to do this is just multiply our eighths times 3. Hopefully you see that it's actually a multiplication table. Okay? But if you wanted to do a tape diagram, it doesn't say you have to, so you can just count it up here. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. Alright, so 24. Will she have enough for 22? Yes, she will have enough. Yes, she will have enough to give 1/8 of a foot to 22 students, because there is 24 eighths in 3 feet. All right. Okay, so here we go. Divide, then multiply to check. That's our next step, to divide and multiply to check. So we don't need to draw a tape diagram. If you want to draw a tape diagram, that's fine. But hopefully you see that when we do this problem, we're actually multiplying. I'll do it over here really quick. We have 4 times 1/4, or divided by 1/4. And what's actually happening is you're multiplying these two numbers to get this number. Alright, so we have 6 divided by 1/2 would be the same as 6 times 2, which is equal to 12. Now, how am I going to check that? I'm going to go 1/2 times 12 is the same as 6. Half of 12 is 6. Okay, for some of you that can't see it, it's 12 over 2. 12 divided by 2 is 6. Alright, so here we go again. We have 5 divided by 1/8 is equal to 5 times 8, which is equal to 40. So 1/8 of 40 is equal to 5. Again, we can check here. There's 1 here and there's 5 here, and there we have it again. Alright, so now we have 6 divided by 1/3 is equal to 6 times 3, which is equal to 18. So now we have 1/3 times 18 is equal to 6. I'm going really quick here, but hopefully you see how easy this is. So we're multiplying these two numbers to get our answer. 6 times 5, and then we have 1/5 of 30 is equal to 6. A principal ordered 8 subs. Oh, I'm not going to do that one. I don't know if I can. Let's see what the homework is. Oh, nope. Almost gave it away. All right. 8 subs sandwiches for a teacher's meeting. Ordered 8 subs. She cut the subs into thirds and put the mini subs onto a tray. How many mini subs are on the tray? Okay, so look at the problem that we did here for number 2 to see if it's almost the same thing, but we have our 8 subs and we're cutting it into thirds afterwards. That's my help for you. Today I am going to use our bonus word of, let's see, Star Wars.